And welcome to the Stadium Australia now for the preliminary final number 2 between the St George Illawarra Dragons and the Cronulla Sharks. It is a beautiful day. A crowd of about 40,000 in, of course, plenty of red and white, and the pale blue, the black and the white of Cronulla. The sun beaming down on the home of the Olympics for the year 2000. Here's the team card coming up for the Sharks. Peachy, Rogers, Ettinghausen, Richardson, Howland, Dykes, Healy, Graham, McKenna, Ryan, Lang, Treaster, Stevens. On the bench, Pearce, Long, Mellor, Ferris, 2 backs on the bench, and Lang, of course, John is the coach. Have a look at the Dragons and how they line up. Patton, been under a cloud, but in the side. Blacklock, McGregor, Timmins, Ainscough, Mundine, Barrett, Bartram, Thompson, Tracy, Smith, Brown, Likevol, Fitzgibbon, Ward, Mackay and Wishart make up the bench, and David Waite is the coach. Cronulla has beaten St George twice on the 2 occasions they've met this year. Clark blows time on. Bartram starts for St George. The red and white side, right to left, and you wouldn't like to know, but Martin Lang is the first man to get a touch. And Trent Barrett it was who made the first tackle down around the bootlaces, and now for Stevens to be tackled 25 metres away from his own line. The Sharks with first use of the football. Many of those people ask their opinion on this game, claim that whichever set of forwards gets on top most definitely will win. I can assure you one thing, if they cancel each other out, we're in for one very entertaining game of football. Stevens again, standing and offloading, and Treaster waits and gives for Peachy to put it in one hand and then take the tackle again of Barrett. Right around the bootlaces again, the St George player, Trent Barrett. As Healy gets a kick in, Healy's on his back, he's not well. Ainscough is with the ball, the sound of the whistle.
Oh, he was hit late, Ray, no doubt about it. And the touch dose has flown in from the far side. Healy getting some attention from the trainer.
Who's up here?
Anthony Mundine.
Whatever you do. Yeah, whatever you on the court. So, Anthony. No, just have a listen, mate. Just have a listen.
After the player kicked the ball, St George player came through and took him out. I'm not sure the point of the contact or what he used, but I certainly think it should go on the court.
Thanks, Cole. Okay. Right, that's what he said. That's what he said. You come through late and he's not sure what you used or where you got him, so it's going to go on report. Okay, just put it down, Anthony.
So there it is. Anthony Mundine on report for a late shot on Mitch Healy. Just the point of contact remains obscure, and it was a shoulder charge.
Yeah, there's no dramas with anything illegal apart from it being late. There's a full-blooded shoulder charge. Again, Cronulla looking to go too wide with their kicking game. Nick Graham was first receiver onto Mitch Healy, and as it turned out, it took away time from the kicker. Healy now to his feet, and Matt Rogers an opportunity to put on first points.
Similar in many ways to the start of the match last night when Parramatta's chief playmaker and kicker was taken out by a late tackle on him. Likewise, they're both on report. 2 of the stars of the game, and wouldn't they be missed if they weren't there next Sunday? Mind you, St George has still got to get there, haven't they? The kick from Rogers is a beautiful. So Rogers gets first points of the day. A sea of Cronulla supporters behind them as they jog back. They lead 2-0 after 2 minutes. And this was the kick. He had it absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the Dragons won't want to give that young man too many opportunities. Good start from the Sharks. They worked it out well from their own end. Jason Stevens getting an offload away. And a penalty at the end of it as Bartram restarts.
So Lang reenacts the start of the game. Just beyond his own 20-metre line now for Treaster to go across and link up with Stevens. That's his 3rd hit up of the day. Just inside the 30-metre line, the Sharks end of the park, and Healy looks to be okay. McKenna's with the football, and he's taken down around the legs by Sean Timmins and over the top by Craig Smith. And now for Sean Ryan, coming down the left side of St George's defence to be met by Mundine and Timmins again. Treaster then, and he's pulled down on his 40-metre line. So tackle number 5. We'll just watch this kick, because Healy has got his kick in inside the 40, and it would have gone inside the 20, but it was fielded by Luke Patton. He was alert, the fullback for St George Illawarra, and is tackled on the 30-metre line as it goes away for the red-headed second rower Thompson. And Thompson will play the ball now. 2-0 then after 2 minutes off the boot of Matt Rogers. An indiscretion by Anthony Mundine on Mitch Healy. Brown then to the right for Lightval. Coach David Wade will interchange quite a bit the front row forwards of Lightval and Smith, as he did last weekend.
Another wonderful take there from David Peachey, bringing Brett Howland into the play. Barrett kicked the football, and again the Dragons in attack. They're slotted there, back rowers out wide, Tracy to the left-hand side, Wayne Bartram to the right.
Lang with a strong run, Mundine left to do the tackling. I'm just wondering whether it's by design or just a matter of irony that Mundine and Barrett have both been forced to make quite a few contributions in defence in the opening exchanges. Thompson goes up and meets Ryan on the ad line, Lightval giving an assist. The point I was making about the frequent interchange for St George. Here's a chance. Richardson stepping around his man. Howland's going down the touchline. An infield pass is taken by St George Illawarra. It is Blacklock.
Yep, thank God for Nathan Blacklock. St George Illawarra fans are saying he was there covering the situation as Craig Smith battles hard to get out of his own 10-metre line. Beautiful play there as Richardson got on the outside of McGregor. Look at the speed of Howland. The ball in. If Richardson gets that, it's try time, but Blacklock got his hands there, and now a penalty goes to the Dragons, one they desperately need.
Mundine finding the line. Penalties 1-1. Lightval.
He's a good player, Chris Lightval, but he does lack a little bit of mobility in comparison to the rest of the forwards out there. Just wonder whether Cronulla will target some little men going at him as Sean Timmins comes to get involved. He's tackled 45 out, and again short side raid through Craig Smith.
Many people's man of the match in the win of St George Illawarra last weekend. Craig Smith, they're looking for him to match it with Jason Stevens today. As Peachey comes back, good tackle by McGregor. A chance now for the Dragons. To the blind side, Barrett, and well covered by Peachey.
Well, he's got them now for a knock on, so the advantage is nullified. You'd have to think that a couple of the Cronulla players were offside there, didn't mark up. A strong tackle from McGregor over the top. Looked like it might have actually been knocked forward by McGregor. That's what Peachey's saying. And play on, and the mistake.
Well, that was a moment of extreme urgency there for the Sharks. Now it's a penalty to them. Inside the 5 metres at the scrum against the Dragons. Mundine, one of the offenders. I'm pretty sure there were more than just Anthony Mundine inside the 5. Healy will find the line. That was the incident. Took a very heavy knock at the 92nd mark in the game, Healy, but he's totally recovered and in fact was able to get his side 2 points off the boot of Matt Rogers for the ensuing penalty. Lang again. Buffeting around. Stevens, they're getting good go forward, aren't they, from Lang and Stevens. They keep driving this wedge into the Dragons forward line, and as I said, often they're running at the fringe of the ruck as Eddinghausen turns it inside for Richardson. Back today after a lengthy break. Dykes it was, offloading for McKenna. McKenna goes through, he almost came out the other side. Healy shaping to kick, passing, and then Dykes, and Dykes throws the dummy, gets it back on the inside. Oh, beautiful hands by Eddinghausen. Outside for Ryan, inside for Rogers. Further inside it goes, and it's with Healy. Brilliant play by Cronulla. They got a player in the back play down injured. Dykes rolls it into the end goal. There's a chance.
Oh, he got there first.
There's a very good chance for Cronulla.
It's Dean Treaster.
And the forcing of the ball in relation
and as you can hear, Stephen Clark, as we see Matt Rogers being assisted from the field, the referee just making sure that Treaster was onside and also grounded the football properly. But tragedy here with Rogers being assisted from the field.
Checking for onside first up, no doubt about it. And does he ground the ball? I thought he did. Oh, no.
It's no try.
No try. So once again, it's Nathan Blacklock. He's got his foot in the way this time. Priester claims it, but it'll be no try, and that is a tragic sight. Steve Roach might check for us in a couple of minutes to see how serious that is. So Nathan Blacklock getting parts of his body all over the place, saving tries.
And you've got to say, looking at Nathan Blacklock's effort there, it was deliberate. With his foot in the right place. Fingers crossed everywhere that Matt Rogers appears to have picked up a cork to the right quad. Can come back into this game because he would be an enormous loss. You can see no try.
The Dragons coming away from their own 20-metre line now. Barrett with the ball on the inside for Colin Ward. Thompson.
Paul Mellor in 16 onto the wing for Rogers, who does have a cork. Craig Smith tackled 45 out from his own line.
Bartram flinging it back to the boot of Nathan Brown. Brown's kick rolling down. Ainsko's coming very fast as well. Good chase by Ainsko on the kick of Brown. Mellor. A report on Rogers, Steve Roach.
Yeah, he's got a bad cork thigh. He's in plenty of pain too. They're just working on it now. They're icing it up and stretching it. I think he will be back.
Well, here's the incident involving Matt Rogers.
Oh, Sean Timmins got him accidentally with an absolute beauty.
Meantime, the big man rolls it down outside the 40-metre line.
And I'll go the other way. I don't think Rogers will be back.
Healy. Where did he kick that? Oh, it's outside the 20 anyway. Cronulla in the ascendancy in the early minutes. Pearce is on, Langer's off. 2-0 Cronulla at the second minute. Patton goes away to the right of the ground, but the Cronulla defence. Another Cronulla player is injured. Penalty against the Sharks. They're inside the 10.
Now they get Sean Ryan down. The Dragons attack again with Barrett taking them on, losing the football.
They don't lose it any easier than that. Peachy immediately counter punches for Cronulla. Adam Dykes to play it. Thompson letting him up last. Pearce.
Sean Ryan is still down. The referee might have to stop this game because he could be in the way if play goes back to the left.
Ryan has got, I would imagine, a leg problem. He's clutching at his left knee. Long is on. 17 gets ready. Wishart to come on. It's like ER here at the moment. Emergency ward. Stevens plays it for Treaster. Turns it back for Dykes to go across the back of the ruck. Eventually held up and put down by Darren Tracy, but they're 11 metres out from the line. Healy on the left of the park. Peachy loses it. St George got it through Barrett, and Clark is able to keep the game going because they've got Sean Ryan off the paddock.
Yes, Jason Ferris has come into the game, but Ryan in all sorts of trouble on the far side as well. Plenty of concern. Blacklock picks up a metre or two from dummy half. Brown finds Ward.
Ryan walking reasonably well. I thought he was more seriously hurt than that. Penalty again against the Sharks.
Yeah, the second 10-metre penalty in a row against the Sharks, and the captain into Eddingshausen running in to say, what's the story, Mr. Referee?
Mate, listen to me, I've got to penalise him, mate. You've got to listen and get back. Thanks, mate.
Brad Mackay, one of the St George Illawarra veterans, to come into the game. Barrett, Mundine, Timmins, inside ball for Patton, put away by Healy. Ainsko for Ward. Now St George Illawarra on the attack. 25 away, centre of the ground. Thompson, Barrett. Barrett away then for McGregor to make a big run. 15 from the line. Barrett floating it for Mundine. Back on the inside, knocked backwards by Timmins. Long holds him down. Brad Mackay. Put down by Stevens. An assist from Long. Left now, Timmins again with bad hand. There's a sideline in the back play. Peachy's away for Cronulla. Does a 360. Gets it away to support. That's Paul Mellor down the right of the ground. Cronulla playing football. 30 metres away from the line now. Dykes. McKenna. So far they're not letting us down, are they? Rapid fire rugby league. Ad-lib rugby league. McKenna. 12 metres from the line. 60 seconds ago we were down the other end of the park. Now it's Nathan Long. Nathan Long's a metre from the line. Three-star. Dykes, grubbing kick. Ainscough will try hard. No, he's not gonna. He's gonna submit. 2-0. Brad Mackay taking the line drop out to put us back into motion. Martin Lang met by Fitzgibbon and put away. Dykes. Long. Plays a very similar game to Martin Lang. Healy across the back to the blind side. Dykes, I thought it was going to be a forward pass, but he pulled it back. Richardson. Graham. 20-metre line, Dragons End. Healy. Pearce. Again, Cronulla. Throwing down the gauntlet. Healy's kick is accurate. Ainscough's take was brave and colourful.
And you would think could almost have drawn a penalty, despite the fact he defused the bomb. I thought that he was tackled in mid-air, Jamie Ainscough.
Forlorn figure of Matt Rogers, trying to get some feeling back into that right leg.
Well, I mean, there's corks and there's corks, and it's a super cork, that one. Just the way that knee dug into his thigh, there'd be a massive torn tissue in there and contusions happening all over the place, so he'd be a brave man to come back.
McGregor, well marked by Richardson. Talk about the master and the pupil over there.
He played at that one, Martin Lang.
Dragons will have the advantage from this scrum. Had a go at it. Now for Lyko. Offload. Finding Fitzgibbon after McGregor. Fitzgibbon 15 metres out from the line. Eddinghausen calling for troops out on the right. Barrett runs that way. The ball goes to Patton. Patton to Ainscough. Ainscough away. With the ball is Timmins. Timmins over the sideline.
Yeah, good defence there from the Sharkies. Paul Mellor it was in the end who dragged Timmins over, but he had nowhere to go, Sean Timmins. The long ball from Barrett cut about 3 out. It just put them right into a corner, didn't it? There was nowhere for any of them to go. There's 5 Cronulla defenders there, and they handle it well.
Cronulla win the scrum. Healy finds Mellor off the right wing. Ball out from his own line.
Nick Graham it was, tackled on his own 20-metre line. Martin Lang, another gain of 5 or 6 metres. Nathan Long. Rogers now sprinting up and down the sideline. Stevens Trista for Dykes. And a left-footed kick from Adam Dykes is going down for Wishart to bring it back. He has got a wealth of talent on the flanks, David Waite. Here's Patton trying to run around them. Pulled down eventually on his own 20-metre line. Tracy loves to run the blind side. Ainscough, both formerly with the Newcastle Knights. Likeville to the 40-metre line, and David Waite makes more changes. Thompson and Bartram have come off. Mackay is with it for the red and whites. Mundine. Paul Mellor has done a fine job for the Sharks in the absence of Russell Richardson. He finds himself in this game probably much earlier than he expected, with the misfortune, of course, for Matt Rogers. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, Sean Ryan has a cork knee problem. They're just trying to get him mobile. Matty Rogers looks pretty confident of coming back on the field. An interesting one too for the Dragons. I thought when Nathan Blacklock was replaced when St George Illawarra had the football by Wishart, I would have thought they'd have kept him on when they were attacking.
So Sean Ryan is back in the battle. And this kick will be returned by Luke Patton. His own 10-metre line. Wishart now. Barrett scooping it off the ground for Smith. Oh, that pass might have been questionable. Brown taken down by Ferris. Smith again. McKenna is off for Cronulla. Brown's kick from inside the 40. He's got it. He's got it. 8 metres out from the corner post. 2-0 the Sharks. But they're under siege. Thanks to Nathan Brown. McGregor. The battle goes on between he and Richardson. The youngster is matching him blow for blow. Fitzgibbon. Brown counting numbers at dummy half. Likeville. Stevens and Long pulling the big fella down. Now they run a blindside play. Mundine. Mundine is pulled down by Richardson and Dykes. Mackay. Now Wishart. Back for Mackay. They come left to Brown. Brown puts a kick in. Mellor puts a shadow over it.
Yeah, some attractive play there from George Illawarra. Some ad-lib stuff down the blind side. But that kick, Brown looked up. It was third or fourth tackle. And he decided just to put a kick in, but they were too far back, his support players. Look, they're 20 metres away. And that was hundreds of anyone getting to that one.
Some repairs there for Darren Tracy. Stevens taking on a very big workload. Ryan. Brown underneath, Bartram over the top, 40-metre line below him. Graham. Ferris is the acting half. Pearce is number 14. Healy. Very high kick. Patton waits for it. He's lost it. Peachy! Peachy! Peachy scored! Peachy's over! David Peachy for Cronulla.
We've got Stephen Clark
the ball, and then the ball
has a query on this.
40.
And you can hear it there. Concern as to how the ball is dislodged from Luke Patton. That's fine. Luke Patton hits the ground. Well, hang on, David Pucci raked that out.
It looks like it might have been raked out. Now, it is one-on-one, but he's raked it forward. It'll be a knock-on, I think, against Cronulla.
Yes, I tend to think that would be the case as well. Patton was not tackled as he was catching the football, so that's fine. He went to the ground, and there's the no try. It was raked out by David Pucci, constituting a knock-on.
I tell you what, Cronulla, they don't help themselves. When they know it's not a try, they stand around outside the 20-metre line. Maybe we should send them to acting school. But they just stand around with their heads down, almost telling us that it's not a try. I don't think I've seen a higher bomb all season than the one that Healy put up. It was a magnificent kick. The chasers were there before the marker. Wishart. Cronulla's defence is very strong.
Gee, that was great hands from Chris Blythebold. A big man took one down around his knees and offloaded almost in the same motion. Ainscough inside to Thompson. Millie gets through. Taken low by Jason Stevens.
Craig Smith now. St George would be aching to play Melbourne. They've really had the wood on the Southerners, and that's out on the full, so that will add some pressure back on the Dragons.
Yeah, that's a bad blue there from Trent Barrett. He's a great kicker of the football, but that one was a bit ordinary.
He looks to have made a total recovery, Sean Ryan. Healy put away by Thompson. Dragons 40-metre line. Stevens again. Always attracting 2 and 3 to pull him down. Now a penalty. No, he said that he lost it.
Right on top of him. He tried to play that right on top of him.
Stevens can't believe it.
Well, the only saving grace there for Craig Smith was the fact that he was making an effort to get out of the play the ball area. It's just one of those unfortunate penalties. Jason Stevens believes he had a claim to a penalty, but I did think Smith was trying his best to get away.
This Cronulla defence is starting to frustrate the Dragons. 7-3 the handling errors. Cronulla making more of them. Ooh, gee, that tackle had some hit in it from Stevens. He hammered Brad Mackay, who's gone down. Played by Bartram. Ainscough running to the right. Patton comes back to the left. Timmins goes up the middle. Halfway line. Mundine floating it across. Taken by Mellor. Mellor going down the right of the ground. He beats the tackle of Patton, but he doesn't beat Mackay.
Yeah, great tackle, Brad Mackay in cover.
But St George Illawarra trying to regroup. Howland to the 20-metre line. Richardson, Graham. Healy on for Dykes. Dykes on for Peachy. Peachy for Eddinghausen. Loose ball, and it has gone forward.
Yeah, big tackle there from Jamie Ainscough. Some nice sparkling attack there from the Cronulla side. It's side-to-side stuff. They saw some chances on the outside. He's on the angle, and it's really quite easy now for Ainscough to hit him and drive him. And that ball went forward.
Yeah, Andrew Eddinghausen thought he was going over the sideline, so he tried to throw the football back in. Very good winger play there from Nathan Blacklock, staying with his man, showed confidence on the inside in Ainscough to come up with the tackle, and that was the case. Barrett feeds and wins. Mundine tackled 12 out, 3 players doing so.
Comment from the sideline, Steve Roach.
I'll tell you what, St George Illawarra will be happy they've got the football, because there's a lot of players out on their feet at the moment. They can't keep up with the pace of this game from Cronulla.
Bartram down the blind side, 30-metre line. Smith has lost it and Treaster gives it on. Healy gets it away. Eddinghausen floats it over for Mello. 20-metre line. Cronulla. Another opportunity. Pearce. Healy. Dykes. Bartram and Mackay coming up urgently. An assist from Smith, third man into the tackle. Treaster then, the short side. Peachy, inside ball for Graham, and Graham back for Healy, and Healy turns it the other way again. Lang it is. 16 away from the line. They've been down there, they just can't get the nod of approval. Bartram giving it off for Mundine. Timmins. This is Wishart. Brown.
Well, both teams, they're throwing the football around. They just can't make that bust. Look likely to get through that first line, and even when they do, the crucial pass goes astray, doesn't find the man. Some good scrambling. Lance Thompson now hoping to offload, but he's wrestled down 39 out centre field. 4 tackles gone. Brown from dummy half.
Nathan Long, another very heavy tackle. There's the time in opposition half for you. And Cronulla enjoying a big percentage. Peachy running away from the touchline, back into the centre of the ground. And Colin Ward it was in jumper number 15, pulling him down. Graham. Lang running straight at Fitzgibbon. Stevens now thundering down to the Dragons' 40-metre line. This is the last tackle. Healy kicks for Eddinghausen's chase, and Lance Thompson. Whoa! Like a ballet dancer.
Yeah, some good communication there between the fullback Luke Patton and Thompson. That ball landed in the middle of them, and Luke Patton saw that. They probably had a chat. Mine, yours, and he came down with it. Thompson.
Gregor it was. Again frustrated down the right side. Cronulla have been very tight. 2-0. Penalty goal for Rogers at the 2nd minute of the game. Now, I was about to say the chase was poor, but I'm reminded of what Steve Roach said. They are out on their feet, many of these players. And that's Jamie Ainsko over near the bench, getting some attention as Peachy plays the ball.
Yeah, I've got to say there's a bit of fatigue in the Cronulla side as well. You need the forwards to take it forward, as Nathan Long has just done. Players struggling to get back.
Loose ball, dived on by Chris McKenna. Healy. The Dragons trying to shut down his time. Oh, Blacklock! How embarrassing. 13 metres away from the Dragons' line. The advantage is with Cronulla. 6 minutes to the break. They're going to enjoy this break, both of them. They come down the short side with Peachy. Now they've got all the paddock in the world on the left. Healy for Graham. Graham offloading on the bounce for Stevens. He pushes away a player. Then for Eddinghausen.
I'd be looking for McKenna, Ray. I think he's the bust man out there that I can get the job done as Lang goes to the blind side.
Martin Lang to within 2 metres of the line. Treaster for Dykes. Dykes for Peachy. Peachy, David will score! They They won't deny this one. They can't take this off him. Peachy scores for Cronulla.
Well, again, Stephen Clark has gone to the video referee to see if there was an obstruction, to see whether a tackler was impeded in getting to David Peachy. Now the Cronulla players are blowing up that he's resorted to that.
Just stand there and wait. You wait.
But a gap certainly did open up. The ball going to ground, picked up by David Peachy, heads back in field. Let's just have a look as we freeze it there. That's the player in concern, whether it's stopping the man behind.
Yeah, but he's been there for half an hour, Pete.
Well, did he stop him from getting to the tackle? That's all I'm saying. If he did, I don't think he'd have made the tackle.
Yeah, it's a big decision to make.
But did he have the opportunity to make the tackle?
Well, if that Cronulla player isn't there, I've got no doubt he can actually see him, he can get to him. Peter said he might not have made it, he might have got him by one leg, something.
So I think it's a big forward. I think it might be Chris Lightfold. Let's have a look. Goes back in field. I think Peachy would have scored, but I tend to think that the St George player has an opportunity to make a tackle there, but he can't get to him because of Mitch Healy.
Well, it's a try, and I'm almost positive the majority of people would agree that it should have been a try. The player that they were objecting about had been there for quite some time. The St George player positioned himself behind that player.
But what great...
And look at it, there it is.
Beautiful footwork by Peachy, wasn't it? Like a doctor performing keyhole surgery. He just found a little gap and went through it. The great footwork. He's just a wonderful player, David Peachy. Plenty of skill, adroit on his feet, and it's good stuff from David Peachy.
Yeah, he's a brilliant player, isn't he? It wasn't like Bowl, it was Craig Smith behind. And look, I'm happy to go with that. I think it's a line ball decision either way. And David Peachy, he does enjoy getting across the line. He's done that many times this year. It's been a long time coming, but again, that last 5 minutes before the half-time break, one team has cracked, the other has gained the ascendancy.
Healy from right in front takes over the goal kicking for the injured Matt Rogers. David Peachy scores the try. Steve Roach, it started like this for Nathan Blacklock.
Yeah, you got a feel for Blakes at the back there. He made a couple of mistakes last week too, Blacklock, but I've got to differ with the boys in the box. I don't think there was any chance of this being a Shepherd. The defensive player was up past Ward, the man who made the mistake. I said they were getting tight in the middle. Peachy scores the first try. Some bad news too for the Cronulla Sharks. Matt Rogers has succumbed to that cork thigh and will not be back.
The way the game is unfolding, Matt Rogers, as good a player as he is, he might not be required. The scoreboard perfectly illustrates the difference that I'm seeing. I think it's been very much so a Sharks first half. Lang, oh gee, that's a good tackle by Tracy. Lang gets up, shakes the head, says something to Tracy, and then Stevens comes away. There's the tackle, beautiful. Long. I know you've heard it before, but they just give you nothing, do they? The Sharks, they give you nothing.
No, their defence has been terrific this first half. It's been just one solid straight line all the way. Hardly a clean break made by St George Illawarra. And both teams have scored us some chances. The sets of six, they haven't really completed them. Deep in the opposing quarter now, Patton surrounded, and he's brought down about 15 metres out from his own line.
Wishart, 20 metres out from his own line. Barrett through, Mundine away, Timmins then. Everywhere they go though, Peter, there's a maul of Sharks.
Yes, they circle, don't they? Need to make the tackle. Big shot coming in from Jason Stevens there. Ball coming loose. Dragons claiming that it was touched for 6 again. Stephen Clark disagrees. Under 2 minutes now to the break. As
Fitzgibbon for Mundine. Mundine taken by David Peachy. Quick played the ball for Bartram. Bartram to the 20. Oh, the pass! The pass is a mile forward. It's landed on Victoria Road. How forward was that from Bartram?
Another opportunity gone for the Dragons. It was a beautiful bust made by Fitzgibbon. He got through some tired Cronulla defence, the first clean break that's been made, and away goes Mundine. And then this pass, he's trying to give it to the far player, Wishart. It's a shocker.
He actually made a good decision there, Wayne Bartram. That was the way to go. They did have a spare man, took advantage of a quick play of the ball. The Sharks now will just wind this down. They'll be quite happy to go in with a substantial lead at the break.
This is being played out, I would imagine, in front of a crowd of around about 35. Yeah, 35,000. Peachy then. Healy tries to explode through a gap. Siren 30 seconds away. Pearce, from a family that has given tremendous service to the Sharks. Dykes. Howland is coming fast. Patton's got a little bit of work to do. No problems. And then Luke Patton delivers his own answer. A run of about 20 metres. This tackle, oh, I was about to say will take us to half-time. It has. Just for a moment, there was a half a chance for Cronulla. But the injured Matt Rogers heads up the tunnel. He would have to be happy, John Lang. They are doing exactly what he would want them to do. Their mistake rates may be a little bit high, but they have offered St George practically nothing. Cronulla 8, St George Illawarra yet to score. Just the one try in the game, and it was scored by Cronulla just in front of the half-time break. Second half of the action then, and St George getting first use of the football. And it is Craig Smith who brings it back and lands in the tackle on the 20-metre line. Now it's with Bartram, and he's put down by Adam Dykes with his head bandaged. He must have taken a cut. In fact, he was blood-binned during that first half. Like Vol this time. And Brown using the short side, and Lance Thompson there to accept the ball. Put down just inside the 40-metre line. Nathan Brown involved there with a total mix-up between himself and his teammate. Barrett this time. Bouncing down inside the 10-metre line for David Peachy. And look at the man. Just always breaking that front line of defence. Seemingly is never captured by it. It's Paul Mellor who was called in to replace Rogers. And Steve Roach is back from the sheds and is ready to file his half-time report.
Yeah, for the Sharkies, Johnny Lang, he was very, very happy. He said to his team, stay alive at marker in defence. He said, chase and keep tight in the middle. That's the only place that they're really going to hurt us. They've got a lot of dummy half runners. He said to his team, just settle down a bit. We're trying to force the ball. The points will come after all the breaks that we've made. For Saints, David Waite, he said, try and slow them down. We will get some more ball in the second half. We didn't have that much in the first half. Cover on the inside. We're too lazy. You just got to get there. He said, keep coming. It's in the last 5 that this one will be won.
So Healy kicking on the final tackle. That ball going in touch in goal. So it'll come back to the 20 for the restart for St George Illawarra. Brown restarting. Thompson. Craig Smith. This is like Vol. Puts on a step off the left foot. Brown got a pass down around the bootlaces. Did well to take it. And then Mundine. Insco turning it in for Tracy. And the ball comes out. This will be a penalty. St George Illawarra stealing the ball in a two-man tackle.
Breakdown, so this will be another exciting opportunity for the Dragons to try and put points on the board. Mitch Healy involved in the tackle with Nick Graham. The referee's found a hand there somewhere. So now here they go. They've got the ball. They're 12 metres out. And what have they got?
Smith taken back and then offloading for Darren Tracy. Now they pick him up and do the same to him. Mundine trying to play it. Held on by Eddinghausen. Smith again. Determined run by Craig Smith. He's a couple of metres from the line now. A chance here for the Dragons. Barrett. Bartram going back to the left and beating one. Brown. Mundine! The ball is on the ground. Clark will give it. He points to the spot. Mundine is over for the Dragons.
They've hit back strongly early in the second half. Anthony Mundine running great lines here. Beautiful pass from Nathan Brown. He's a clever player. He's a man that figures very prominently in opposing team talks. A flat pass. He had a bit of work to do, Anthony Mundine, but he reaches out over David Peachy to slam it down.
Yeah, did he, Watson? Great stuff there from Mundine. Nice work too from Lightbowl back on the inside. Just drew a couple of crabs off. A couple of the defenders, and Mundine crashed through a couple. And just that second effort to put the ball down is good stuff.
And you can see the Cronulla line, it's a little bit staggered. Nick Graham went up a touch in front of Mitch Healy, and that opened up a small gap. David Peachy almost could have raked the football out. He'd have been penalised for it, but it might have saved a try.
Yeah, that is Nathan Brown's go-to. That kid scooting out from dummy half, using his speed, but he's got the good hands and set that up nicely for the man.
So Bartram almost right in front, and there's the other 2 points. So the Dragons are on the board. They're trailing by 2, 6 minutes gone in the second half. I got the impression looking at that replay that David Peachy at one stage might have even had the football. And I think the referee would have had to give a penalty try. Healy starts again. Trent Barrett. Barrett playing at 25 metres away from his own line. Craig Smith looks like he might have gone up a gear in the second half. Nathan Brown. Thompson coming down the short side. Encouraged by a big crowd. Neighbouring clubs. Mundine. Ainscough playing in the centres now. Not a problem for Jamie. He plays probably as much centre as he does wing. Barrett's kick is high. Peachy's underneath it. Now, I think Peachy's got the football. He has.
Yeah, he lost it backward, but was able to reclaim it. The chaser also attacking the football, so no reason for penalty as the Sharks go wide. Richardson with a little bit of space to move. The cover is there.
Wise play by the young man. Came back away from the touchline on an early tackle.
Ray, I wasn't impressed with Stephen Clark's performance last week. I think I made that fairly obvious in the commentary, but I've got to say he's done a very good job this afternoon. He's got the important decisions right so far. I think that he's contributed to a very good game between these two sides.
Richardson now. Nick Graham. Cronulla's locked forward. A real workhorse. You don't see a lot of the work that he does.
Jason Stevens has got a kick away on the last, and it's a pretty good one too. Patton will have to play at this.
He'll get back though, Peter. Oh, beautiful run. Aints go away from dummy half. Bartram now held inside the 30-metre line. Just wondering whether St George have decided in the second half, St George Illawarra, to do a bit more dummy half running. That's the thing that Melbourne hates about playing the Dragons. Fast men coming out of dummy half. It doesn't suit the Melbourne style. Maybe the Dragons have reached the stage where they think we better start using it 7 days early. Barrett, he's on the broad of his back. Peachy is coming back. 7 from halfway. Healy for Lang. Running straight at Mundine, but Mundine doesn't take a backward step. He doesn't mind how big they are. Miller. Now Cronulla fanned out to the left. And Healy killed the ball. I would have thought it was a great time to pass. Stevens back. Treaster away. Graham is with it. Bartram's with him. So is Fitzgibbon. He's been very good for them as a replacement player, Fitzgibbon. I don't mean just today either. McKenna. Former Bronco. 5th tackle. Healy. Peachy. Came off St George, went back, and St George just... I think Cronulla might have it.
George ball is off his leg.
No, it's St George, Illawarra's Thompson to play it.
Yeah, one of the busiest players on the field today, Leeds Thompson. Once again, right there on the spot. Good run from Darren Tracy. Gets them 15. This could have gone anywhere. But Thompson just made that effort to get there and saved a desperate situation.
Colin Ward. Just a simple play by the Dragons. Dummy half running, or just a forward powering up the middle until they get down in that area where they put the green light on for the Mundines and company. Oh, McGregor's passes forward.
Well, it was the last tackle, that's why he got rid of it.
Hand over there, Russell. Hand over.
Taking a chance on running it on the 5th. Just flipped it straight into the arms of Trent Barrett. So for the second time in as many minutes, the Sharks getting good ball, reasonable field position. Oh, that's a collision. Thompson and Lang.
Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, Ray, I've got to give an enormous rap to Russell Richardson. It's his first game in 5 weeks, and he's done a job on Paul McGregor. He hasn't been able to get around him yet.
David Peachy looking for the football now. Offloads to Eddinghausen. He loses it. A couple of sloppy plays from both teams in the last couple of minutes.
He's the man most likely for Cronulla again, isn't he, Pete? David Peachy. Every time he gets the ball, he's threatening. He's looking for gaps. He's creating half chances for his outside people.
Colin Ward. That most definitely went backwards. Aints go for Mundine. Mundine for Bartram. Wayne will play the ball just outside his own 30-metre line for Brown to go to the left of the ground. Tracy it is. 7 days from the grand final. Cronulla leading by 2 with a chance to play Melbourne. Can this magnificent club that we now call St George Illawarra go to another grand final? Barrett finding Timmins and then fielded and put down by Mellor. This will go St George Illawarra's way.
He knocked it back originally, I think, Paul Mellor, but in the end, there's a little one in there, a knock forward. Timmins kicking for himself.
Next Sunday's telecast will start at 12 noon, and you'll see the entire afternoon live with the First Division Grand Final between Parramatta and Balmain, and then, of course, the Grand Final of the NRL to follow. Commercial free, by the way, and a full preview and review of the retirees tribute. So be with us next Sunday, won't you, on the wide world of sports for our grand final coverage. Blacklock, 10 metres from the line. They're pressing again, the Dragons. Mundine, not a good pass from dummy half. Thompson. St George, most of their team on the left of the ground. Mundine kicks back on the right and allowed to bounce by Howland. And the diminutive winger tackled in goal.
Well, that was a speculated by Mundine because there was not even a St George player, St George Illawarra player in sight. He looks up, decides to put one in. Craig Fitzgibbon's the nearest player. Should have been an easy task for Howland, but he let it bounce, and then there was danger. But his speed, he got there in the end.
He was praying for it to go over the sideline. He didn't want to be forced into a difficult take over his shoulder to try and defuse the bomb. And it is another kick now. Mitch Healy drop out from under the black dot. And he takes it 43 metres. Here comes Ward.
That's a very good effort by Cronulla to get out to the 30-metre line and meet the attacker. Thompson. Just looking at that play from Mundine, the high ball to a very small Brett Howland. I'll come back to that with Bartram now. There is a point to be made though. Brown. Barrett. Trent. Not having the latitude that he had last weekend. Mundine. McGregor. That is the 10-metre line. The uprights are just to his left. Brown again. And the kick is a chance. And it's a try. It's a try for Mundine. The man, Choco. I think he's got himself a try.
Well, if he's onside, he's got a try. And it's not often you see David Peachey out-leapt. The two real athletes up against each other for this catch. Two wonderful players in the air. It's a deliberate kick from Nathan Brown for Anthony Mundine. And I've got to say, I think he's just onside.
You certainly couldn't say he's not onside.
No, he's onside all right. It's a great effort from Mundine. He was coming forward, Peachey going backwards, and that's why he got the football. And an interesting byplay at the end of it. Mundine, after the try was scored, there it is, confirmed. He looked for Peachey, pointed to him, said, got you there, brother.
10-8, they're in front for the first time.
It was a planned move, and as I said earlier, it is not often that somebody gets the better of David Peachey in the air.
Looks like a few of those basketball skills. He could have been a very good basketballer, Anthony Mundine. It was sort of a steal. Saluting the crowd.
Very, very talented sportsman. Bartram converts. They broaden the margin. We are taking a break. We're coming back to Stadium Australia in just a moment. 12-8. 24 minutes to go. The Sharks have done more of this than they wanted to do. Patton sends Ward back. Four points.
Thompson going centre field now. Dragons in front for the first time. And here's this dummy half running that we alluded to earlier. Jamie Ainscough included in playing the football. And Mundine it is. Kicks it over the top of Peachey.
David Peachey.
Oh, hang on, he's got him for a knock on.
Clark's called it. Stephen Clark has called a knock on. Everything Mundine is doing is turning to goal. And his duel, his personal duel with David Peachey continues.
It's not a knock on.
Have a look at this after he scored the try. He gestured to the crowd, but he gestured to David Peachey. That's two. That's two. Can you see it? That's what he's saying to David.
He didn't knock on then, David Peachey. Went back and then he kicked it further back.
Timmins. Patton. Fitzgibbon. A tumble turn. Mackay. Barrett. To the centre of the ground. Where is he? Where's the man? He's out there on the left. Barrett. Mundine will take control, I would imagine, on the left of the ground. They don't use it. They take one more. Tackle 5. Now they find him. Puts a grubber in. Oh, Nathan Long takes a Bobby Simpson. Or is it a Mark Waugh these days?
Whatever it was beautiful. Cronulla, they needed it. And hasn't the tide turned in this game? Saints got a big wake-up call at half-time from their coach. No doubt about it. And Ray said that Craig Smith had lifted, they've all lifted the Dragons. And now it's Cronulla on the back foot. But they've still got plenty of ammo left.
PG. Healy. Ridden down by Thompson. Long, beautiful tackle by Brad Mackay. Healy punching it and finding the sideline. The eastern side of Stadium Australia. One of the best kickers in the game, if not the very best in general play.
And now I suppose there's conjecture as to whether the week off is going to be an advantage for Cronulla, or whether the tough football over the last fortnight is going to favour the Dragons. They fought hard to get here. Big win over Melbourne. Too good for the Roosters last week.
Into the 20. Into the 20.
Cronulla sat back and watched everyone last week. Be interesting to see how the teams fare in the last 20 minutes.
Jeez. I don't know what he's doing. Inside there. Inside.
It's a long time since I've seen a collapsed scrum.
Steady, 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 steady.
Patton. Just harking back to that point I was making about the bomb that Mundine put down to Howland's wing. It reminded me of Parramatta the night they beat Cronulla, pointless. They bombarded Howland's wing because he is so short. And I remember that night Szyvolski had an absolute picnic, jumping over the top of young Howland, and I don't think I've seen anybody employ those tactics since. It could well be that David Waite has been reminded of that and bringing it out today. He might even use it again. Barrett's kick is going out on the full. Good pressure brought on him by Treaster. If anything comes from this, you can put Dean Treaster's name down as being the reason it started.
And it's the second time in this game that Barrett has kicked out on the full. And his better option would be to make sure that they land well in field. Look for the open spaces. Chance now for Cronulla. It's been a while since they've had a set of 6 inside their opponent's 40.
You see Jason Stevens going back into the game. Doesn't seem to have had much game time in the second half. Graham an offload. Peachey pulled down on the 20-metre line. From Graham to the centre of the ground for Stevens. Now Cronulla. They can see the uprights. Healy. Oh, it's gone to ground. And he's given a penalty offside against the Dragons. So a real chance for the Sharks.
He's got Anthony Mundine. He played advantage Stephen Clark. And that's fortunate for Cronulla because there was a lack of communication. Eddinghausen not expecting the football. And they're not taking the 2, they're going for the 6.
Dykes. Taken by Mackay and Bartram. They go back to the right. Peachey. Healy. Away for Dykes. To the ground. Well picked up by Mellor. That could have been danger there for Cronulla. Pearce. Mackay blocking the middle. An assist from Smith. Treaster finding Healy. McKenna. Here's a goal. I thought Stevens was into a gap. McGregor pulled down inside the 20 by Howland. Wishart gallops out to the 30.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake not to take the 2 points here. There's plenty of time. Points are at a premium. And I mean, 12-10 looks good. They score a try, they go back to the lead.
Now Saints go. 12-8. Dragons in front of the Sharks. Tracy. Likevall. Barrett. Down to the Sharks 40-metre line. Last tackle. Brown kicks. Over the head of Peachy. It'll go dead. First Division preliminary final today went to Balmain. They defeated Illawarra 20 points to 12, taking them to the grand final to play Parramatta. And you'll see that live next Sunday as part of the 9 coverage of grand final day from midday. And congratulations to the Jersey Flegg grand finalists, Canterbury and Newcastle. Well done to the Dogs and the Knights at the junior level. Ryan on the halfway line. The first half is coming back to haunt them. The effort they put into that first 40 minutes looks to be taking its toll. The kick, the bat down. This will be play on. Mundine. Ainsko with a run from dummy half.
They've got the wind in their sails, the Dragons. More dummy half running from Luke Patton. Ainsko picked up an easy 15. Now Wishart will scoot out of there. And Cronulla, they are looking very tired.
Have a close look at what they're doing in the second half, because you're going to see plenty of it next Sunday. It's work for them against Melbourne. I'm talking about if they get there, obviously. There's a long time to go.
Oh, you've made a big statement.
Thank you, Sterlo, for pulling me out of that one. Brown, very, very high. No contest. Are they inside the 10, the offside player? The Browns put them all onside now. Howland. Talk about David and Goliath. Likevall hit him. It was like George Foreman lying on Shane Dye.
Well, in the first half, Cronulla looked very dangerous when they strung together some passes. We are not seeing that in their game now. A lot of one-out stuff. They're not finding any second phase play, and they're not having any success going wide, although they try it this time. Dykes. Ooh, thank you very much, says ET.
That's an important tackle. It was Timmins on Eddinghausen. A chip through for Cronulla. A regather for Tracy. And Tracy will play the ball. 5 metres on Cronulla's side of halfway. Likevall. Centre of the ground, 40 out. Brown away for Ward. Ward on for Timmins. Timmins bustling. Brown with him, takes the tackle. 30 metres away from the Sharks line for Ainsko. Then for Barrett. Now for Bartram. Bartram bundled into the ground. 25 away. 12-8. Dragons in front. Under 14 to go. Mundine lurking. Tracy working. Mundine waiting. Mundine passing. Inside from Timmins. And Patton. Patton. He scores. Patton scores. St. George. Illawarra. Are they grand final bound? I think they are.
They've just taken a giant leap towards a spot next Sunday afternoon. Luke Patton lurking out wide, took advantage of some wonderful interplay on his inside. This is what we are not seeing from Cronulla. Mundine inside to Tracy, attracts two. He gets the pass away again to Mundine. He attracted two as well. And then Sean Timmins pass inside to Luke Patton. Lovely work there. The Cronulla team unable to shut the football down.
I think the lack of big match experience has really gone against the Sharks in this second half. Plus, I think, gee, they look out on their feet, the Sharks. And the St George Illawarra team, plenty of big match experience. They've been in plenty of semi-finals. A lot of these players like Bartram, Thompson, Tracy, Brad Mackay, Wishart. And Mundine's really had a big match today.
It's been a magnificent effort from Mundine. Everything they've done in the second half that has led to points has come from the artistry and the talent of Anthony Mundine. Bartram to convert, and he does. The red and white, they can smell the grand final. Matt Rogers, the depressed young man at the moment. We break, we're back in a moment. Shallow restart by the Sharks. The bat back by Peachy. Then a knock on by Richardson. It'll be play on St George. Play on the Dragons. Ward, a dummy. Blacklock is back on the park. He's been sparingly used today. (18 to 8). 11 to go. McGregor. He tried in vain in the first half to break the shackles of Richardson. He continues to try and beat the young man, but he can't. Richardson's effort in defence for the Sharks has been one of the highlights for me. And I'll tell you what, the number 4 on the other side, Sean Timmins, has been brilliant. We mustn't get too carried away with Mundine. Peachy scooping it up. Back into the field of play. He wants the turnover anyway.
Backside, back.
Talking of being way out with the crowd. Today I get the Buffhead Award. 51,627, and I said 35.
Mate, they can find it just for today.
Well, that's a magnificent attendance.
It's a great crowd there for semi-final. You've been our most consistent award winner all year, Ray. Congratulations, Kempy.
And you get the Jockstrap Award, of course, for your support.
Well, have they got anything left in the tank, Cronulla? This year's minor premiers, 9 minutes to score twice. And they haven't been able to score this second half, so you've got to put a big doubt over that. Mitch Healy puts it long.
Well, this is the man they voted Player of the Year. They had their club presentations just the other night, and he was the man they voted Player of the Year, Jamie Ainscough. Blacklock. His confidence a little bit down. He's got 7 days to get it right. Patton. Smith. Just thinking of Corey Pearson. Would he be right for next weekend? Looking at this injury, he might have to be.
This was a man you were rapping earlier, Paul. Craig Smith down, another powerful game.
Yeah, he's been great, hasn't he? I mean, last week he got our man of the match. He was tremendous. Big block on the sideline, said one of the best front row displays he's ever seen. He's carved them up again today. He's led really well. Just suffered a knock here. They probably overshadowed their opposites today, like Bowl Smith over Lang and Stevens. They've tried hard, Cronulla, but I think it's the touch of class in the St George Illawarra team in the second half.
So Barrett putting it up the end of the ground where you are reasonably safe. Camorley did it beautifully last night, didn't he? Cowland swarmed over by the Dragons. Thursday night, the grand final footy show, live from Star City Casino. The Angel, league's fastest man. The Players' musical tribute. Oh, what a show. What a night it'll be. The Fat Man and some help from his friends. Or should I say plenty of help from his friends. Stevens. Graham. Then Dykes, Peachy. By Jove, I tell you what. McGregor. I was rapping young Richardson for his effort in containing the kangaroo. Now Ainscough to the halfway. McGregor has been very strong himself. Smith. Nathan Brown back into the action. He pleaded with his coach to put him back. Here's a chance for Blacklock. Oh, gee. That's a late tackle, is it not?
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Chris McKenna, the man coming in. I think more frustration than anything in that tackle.
So Blacklock down the left touchline. And that tackle from McKenna, totally illegal. Andrew Pearce's head went down. 5-3 the penalties, the Dragons' way. Our telecast going into Melbourne. St George, as a single entity, have won 15 premierships and second only to the mighty South Sydney, who've won 20. They are now 6 minutes away from entering their chance for another premiership. To play, of course, Melbourne. McGregor. I must admit, when I started broadcasting league, I never thought I'd be talking about Melbourne in the grand final. Blacklock. Thompson. Through from Barrett for Mundine. Mundine! He gets it away! It's lost!
Up one, boys.
Gee, there was a tackle in there. I think it might have been David Peachy. Really put his body on the line. Mundine again does beautifully, glides through, gets the arm free. Now the support player is Patton. Peachy really came up with an important tackle there.
Brown, Nathan has been sent to the bin again.
We've given plenty of raps to Melbourne, making grand final in just their second year of competition, and rightly so, but we've got to say this effort from St George and Illawarra to merge. I know that they've got enormous ability there, but it's not easy to put that into a unit all working in the same direction. So if we're wrapping Chris Anderson and what they've done south of the border, I think that David Waite and Andrew Farah also should be lauded as well, because they've done a wonderful job. They've had a lot of criticism, a lot of pressure pointed their way, and they're going to have the last laugh because their team will be there on the final day of the year.
Eddinghausen in pursuit of the kick, but Ainscough is thinking a little bit ahead of them all now. I remember at the start of the year, somebody asked me what was the most important thing that had to happen in rugby league. Obviously, peace would help. But I said for St George Illawarra to be successful, Mundine! Mundine! He's away! And scores! There she goes! There goes another one! Ho, 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 ho! Oh! Have a good time!
They're having a great time, and why not? Their whole season, it's on the line this afternoon, and they've risen to the occasion, led by this man. He has plenty to say, Anthony Mundine, but he can back it up with that kind of play. That's number 3. He finishes it in style, and you'll see Nathan come in. He'll get a piece of the action as well.
It's great stuff. He's had a marvellous game, Mundine, and this wraps it up for them. They're heading to the NRL Grand Final here next Sunday. Beautiful footwork and the speed of the man over that 20 metres. He got around Peachy. Not too many players can do that. Good stuff there.
Nathan
This
Brown.
was the reaction from Nathan Brown. He got the whip out. He got the whip out. He rode hard. And back he goes to do the dance. And one of the forgotten heroes back on the bench, the assistant coach Andrew Fowler. Here's Bartram from the sideline. Oh, go on. Take another two. Take another two. Have another go at the grand final. You might as well. Steve Roach.
Talking about individual performance, this is the best I've seen. The fend, I could do that. The speed, I didn't have. This bloke's going to run out of the park. And oh, to be able to do this on the end of it. Whoa!
Here's the kick from Bartram. Beautiful stuff.
And both Parramatta and Cronulla are saying first and second in the competition, led by a good score at half-time, have been kept scoreless in the second 40 minutes.
We were talking on Friday, Thompson, about the teams that had beaten their opposition twice in the regular competition rounds, how they'd gone on to win in the semi-finals. Now Blacklock runs off Barrett. That record was almost impeccable, but this weekend, St George Illawarra and Melbourne, they both have fallen twice to this weekend's opponents, but they've turned it around. So just get the form guide and tear it up. McGregor, not necessarily Paul's best play. It doesn't matter though. They are going to the grand final and they will start favourites to win their 16th premiership, St George. They will start favourites to win their first premiership, St George Illawarra. I said for them to be successful was important. You can't do any more than go to the grand final and win it. They'll take on Melbourne, the great club, the great red and white club that now has taken on Illawarra as their bed partner. Next Sunday is going to be absolutely superb. Cronulla, they just can't get to a premiership, can they? 3 times they've been to the grand, 3 times they've been beaten. This time they're not going there. Timmins, you've been absolutely marvellous today. You finish with the football. Take it home with you. It's yours. Mundine will get you another one. That has been just an absolutely superb second half of football. I don't think I've seen an individual leave a mark on 40 minutes of football such as what Mundine has done today. Matt Rogers almost reduced to tears, I think is fair commentary. They used a lot of petrol in the first 40 minutes, and then they were found wanting when Mundine launched his torpedoes. 24-8, St George Illawarra are into the grand final. A 24-8 win over Cronulla Sharks.